channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today's epistemology study will be on the venom archetype. This is the poison, the curse, and the toxin. Much to our dismay, the venom is always lurking in the shadows in one form or another. Its toxic presence may be found in our relationships, thoughts, speech, or environment. Thankfully, the cycle of purification and detoxification comes so naturally that it is built into our every exhale. We breathe out carbon dioxide, and the plants return it to us as oxygen. Archetypal venom is rarely remedied as easily, and it can come in potent forms and quantities that are deeply damaging to us and to the world. When the venom card appears, there is a harmful substance in our psychic realm that must be identified. Perhaps your words have a sting of poison about them. Perhaps a relationship is slowly draining your reserves. Acknowledgement is the first step. Change is the second. The remedy will reveal itself in time, and with it, forgiveness. This is about self-realization through suffering, but in reverse, it can be an unwillingness to find a solution or forgive. I actually find this very interesting. The one that we did earlier this week, was actually the animal. And if I can pull that up for you guys real quick, I feel like this is an extension of that reading. Yeah, we have that right here. So in one, we have the eyes, right? And this one we have the teeth, the mouth. And we also have this beautiful moon, which can talk about the internal, the emotion. And in last week's, or I think that might have even been earlier this week, in the reading for the animal, we highlighted a toxic relationship around us that was causing us to act out of character, and how we are the solution to this. How to act out of character is kind of the closure in the situation, but we were called to take leadership in the situation to be the solution. And the animal's presence was a very questioning state, right? It was being stuck in this questioning state of why me? Why do I have to deal with it? Why do I have to be the bigger person? And now we've kind of reached the venom with the teeth. So I feel like you have hit that moment of self-realization. I feel like you've analyzed this. You're done observing it. I feel like you're almost moving towards action now, where you're speaking up, where you're doing exactly what you need. There is a solution that you are using to remedy the situation. So let's get some more information using my animal spirit guide deck. I do feel as if this is an extension of the animal reading, so I'm excited to get into this. Oh, we have the sea serpent. Beautiful, beautiful. This is about healing emotional wounds. And on the back of the deck, I have the moth. This is an air sign energy, so that could be Libra, Libra, Gemini, or Aquarius. I guess Sagittarius could be involved in some way. I'm actually really loving the colors here with the moth and the venom. So you have this beautiful green to yellow, that striking colors. How gorgeous. This is all about impulsiveness, hastiness, and even some wishful thinking. So you might be moving too quickly in a solution. You have yet to fully engage with what the best outcome could be here. Let me grab some water before we dive into the Animal Spirit Guidebook. Is your throat chakra blocked? Because my voice is suddenly going out. I was getting over a cold earlier this week that was making my reading a bit difficult to go through, but it is what it is. So the sea serpent is healing emotional wounds and expressing your desires. The sea serpent represents the energy of expression or desire. The sea serpent helps us move and direct our energy into a healthy current. When the essence of this card is in balance, we express ourselves creatively and sexually without fear or shame. We know what we desire most. Our hearts are at ease and our relationships are meaningful and enduring. We loosen the grip of self-judgment and we let the cool waters of forgiveness in to heal our wounds. When the energy of the sea serpent is not yet activated, our emotions and creativity are left in the muddy waters. The current of expression stagnates in some areas of our lives, and in other places it floods. It's important to remember, no matter what the waters of our emotional lives look like, the sea serpent loves us just the same. What a beautiful, beautiful energy. There's a lot about forgiveness being highlighted here, actually. And again, in the animal, we did read a poem that says, I forgive you to free me. And if you weren't there for that reading, I fully recommend you go check out last week's reading on the animal. However, a big part of that poem was about how some people are their own worst enemies. They're their own demons. And so it's important for us to recognize that, you know, they aren't really our opponent. They're just fighting themselves, and we're caught up in the proximity of that, unfortunately. That was a big portion of that reading, actually. So with this moth, this is impulsive, hasty, and wishful thinking coming out here. Let me see if I can pull this up really quickly for you guys. The moth is sure that the grass is greener on the other side. Moth energy is at play when we're attracted to easy solutions or anything shiny and new. This can lead to unfinished projects, disappointment, or burnout. It's helpful to remind moth personalities that life is complex. No matter the illusion, no one is exempt from the trials and tribulations of this great journey. Practice seeing life as an infinite mystery, rather than wishing it was easier or different. You might even be idealizing other people's situations, or even idealizing a situation in your mind where you think like, oh, well, if I just, because in the animal, in that reading, it did talk very heavily about how you were getting away from a toxic situation. So this might indicate that you might be a bit hasty or too quick. You might just be taking the first thing that comes to you rather than actually sorting out your options here. And that could lead to some falls or failings on your end. Yeah, I mean, like, I've done this before. I think my first apartment, it was a really crappy, like, illegal apartment that someone got shot in a month before I moved in. But I did it. I, like, moved into that apartment out of absolute desperation because I wanted my own place. I had been living with, like, my ex's family at the time, which was really uncomfortable. And so it could be something similar like that, where, like, you are looking to move out as a result of dealing with toxic family members, or that being too overwhelming or exhausting. And Spirit is urging you to slow it down, look at all your options before just jumping into something brand new, or maybe jumping into something where you don't have all the information or all the details yet. Because that first apartment was super haunted, and also the guy's ex-girlfriend would, like, show up to the door and ask me if he was still there, and I didn't know someone had gotten shot in my apartment, but his blood was definitely still on the walls. And the bathroom in that apartment didn't work for like 7 months, so I had to shower at my neighbor's house for like months and months on end. So I wish I had just taken a little bit more time to save up just a little bit more and look for a better place than taking like the first thing that I could find, for sure. Yeah, there's a lot about forgiveness here. Interesting. Let's keep going. Let's go ahead and... Oh. Okay, I guess I'm not going to be using that deck today. Alrighty, no big deal. That's totally fine. I will clean those up when I'm done. I know you guys didn't just see that, but I just dropped an entire deck on the floor. That's alright. I'm just going to keep rolling, actually. I'm not too concerned with it being on the floor. Let's go ahead and grab a theme for this. We have dreams. Okay, maybe you're getting some messages in your dreams here. Interesting. And then we also have well-being. Yeah, and boundaries. Maybe you feel like you have to run because your boundaries aren't being met, but there's good luck on your side in this situation. So that's a plus. Okay. Let's go ahead and get some situations here. Oh, I have meeting in reverse. Okay. Yeah, don't rush into anything. I feel like maybe you feel like you don't have maybe you are rushing into something without a plan. Yeah, you're not looking hard enough for what's actually meant for you. You're just looking for the first thing that you can do. A love affair? Interesting, in reverse. Can I get a clarifier on that? TikTok, okay. In reverse. I have legal, court paperwork, and files on the back of the deck, and cleansing. Yeah, maybe you want to like call the police on this situation. Maybe you need to get some authorities involved, or you need to document some things, or you're trying to file for something. This could be like child support or like a divorce. That might be what this love affair is. I wasn't expecting this to come up, if I'm being honest. Let me get something just to clarify that. Can we get a clarifier for this love affair, please, Spirit? Just one. Oh, we got two. Okay. I have the sword and rose, clarity, truth, revelation, solidarity, force, honor, protection, and power. And I have seduction, attraction, flirting, dating, hooking up, temptation, and third-party interference. Okay, all right, interesting. Maybe you caught someone. Okay, so if this is an extension of the animal, I don't think that this is family involved. Because in my last reading, we did talk very heavily about like siblings with like malevolent intentions, as well as like the narcissistic paradigm of like narcissistic parent with the golden child and the scapegoat under that. Yeah, on the back of the deck I have hammer, sabotage coming out. So I do feel as if this is, I think this is the extension of the animal, but this is the relationship format of it. So if you didn't see the animal, this might be because this isn't familial for you. This is actually about love. I think you caught your partner stepping out. Maybe that's why boundaries had come up. Maybe they're acting like, and actually this is so weird. I was seeing this guy posting on like this fish page the other day. It was like this really weird post. And he was like, how dare you make your spouse cheat on you because you wouldn't fulfill their needs? And now you're blaming them and leaving, like you're abandoning your spouse because they were forced to cheat on you. And it was this, it's like that malevolent of intention behind that, of like trying to essentially, it is exactly what the sibling reading is doing, is where like they're pushing accountability and responsibility on and projecting like their own issues and lack of self-control onto the other person. But there's also, again with the siblings in the animal reading, we had highlighted how it was as if they had done something wrong to you and they needed to make something up in order to project that you were the issue, right? So in the animal reading, I had brought up the example that like my brother had kicked out one of my friends. And the week following that, he would like leave his own bedroom door open and then come home and try to yell at me for going through his room. Even though I didn't go through his room, he had just left the door open. And so his solution to that was like to lock the door and then like mumble really loudly and be like, this better not be open when I come home. And it's like, it won't be, because there's nothing in your room that I would go through. Like, no offense, like your room smells like dirty socks and you're doing this to yourself because you don't want to take accountability for the fact that you hurt me. You just want to try to make me the big bad guy so you don't feel bad for actually being a villain. And that's kind of what I'm picking up on here, is I feel like maybe you've caught your partner stepping out. Maybe you had like an inkling of this online, and then you caught them in person and the truth came out about this third party. Maybe you even got some messages about it in your dreams. And I think you're looking to speak up on it. So we've done the observation, we've done the analysis, we've done the questioning, right? We've filled in all the gaps here. I think you've got the information right. You've got the timelines right. You know the truth. You're just planning on what to do. And that might be why this venom energy is coming out, this moth energy is coming out, because it's urging you not to be too hasty about this. That's that TikTok. Yeah, maybe you share like a home with this partner. And so I feel like you're planning an escape or a getaway. So it's about like not letting that slip. Interesting. Okay, let's actually go ahead and get into some tarot. Alrighty, given that dreams were brought up, I'd like to use my dream deck to get this kicked off. Okay, alright. You know what? I'm just taking the first one. That was ridiculous. Alright, let's keep going. So Ace of Coins, uprights. What else is going on here with my Venom Collective? What's the application for the Venom Collective, Spirit? We have the Ace of Cups in reverse. Okay, okay. Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. Let's keep going. Knight of Wands, yeah, taking things slowly. Now my wands, this fiery energy, this is usually a very slow-paced energy. I'm sorry, a very fast-paced energy at right. So when I see this coming in reverse, it's very much telling us to slow our roll. And remember how the Venom how Venom spoke about like spitting poison when you speak, and we see this dragon like breathing fire. There might be something that you want to like. You might want to yell at this person or like tell them exactly what's on their mind, but I'm getting the sense that you should wait. And if you are filing for court, I would not say anything over text that could be used against you in like family court, or that could be considered like potential alienation or abuse. I am not advocating for that at all. I do think that there is a need to slow down, maybe slow your thoughts down. Watch what you say, think before you speak. Yeah, I feel like this person might use what you say against you. And my Queen of Wands, my Seven of Swords, very similar energy to the animal. Very similar. One more, please, Spirit, just one. Oh, okay. Yes, very, very similar, actually. It actually came out exactly the same as the animal. See how I just asked for only one and 3 came out? This was the exact setup for the animal. So let me move these all to the side. Wow, interesting. So we have Judgment on the back of the deck. Sorry, I do have stickers on there because they're a little nudie, and I didn't want YouTube to get upset with me about the nudity. Yeah, we have my Six of Wands. How are we taking that? Because that came up right. Yep, that's exactly what I thought. It came up right in my last reading. I'm actually going to do this. Okay, there we go. Alrighty. Yeah. So I do think that you realize they took an opportunity to step out on the relationship. They involved a third party here. And I think you are gathering the resources to get away from this situation. But I think you have to do this slowly and quietly. This feels like an escape type of situation. I feel like you're biting your tongue, or at least you need to hold back. I know how angry you are. I can feel it. I know you feel betrayed. I know that you recognize that you have to kind of do everything. Like everything's kind of on your shoulders. You have to do it all alone. But you're being very strong through this. I feel like you're fed up. I feel like you've had enough. I feel like you know exactly what direction you're going. And I feel, even more so than that, I feel as if you're excited to get away from the misery of the situation. And I highlight the misery because in this deck, in my Ace of Wands, that has this lizard that's being highlighted here. And my Ace of Wands in this deck highlights misery in an environment. So I feel like you are preparing to kind of escape from this misery, to kind of take this, oh my gosh, because this isn't a crown. It feels like a dunce cap to you. You might feel like this person made a fool out of you. And that might be why it's so difficult to want to keep biting your tongue. You might be paranoid in regards to finances. Maybe this person finding out your plan or making you look bad or using things against you. I feel like this person, you might think this person is malevolent. Where like if you were to take them to court, they would try to make you out to be like evil or wrong. But if I can be very honest with you, the courts, I worked in law for a while. I worked for a courthouse for a while. I worked in family court. I also worked in criminal law. The courts are not strangers to abusers and manipulators, okay? The courts are not stupid, and if I'm being honest with you, most abusers are. Most abusers are too stupid to manipulate the court system, if I'm being honest. It is not the first time that a man has tried to come in and make his wife seem like she was crazy. It is not the first time that a man has tried to cheat and blame it on his wife. Again, it does not have to be a husband. It does not have to be this specific scenario. I'm just using this as an example. But no, It is not the first time. The courts are no strangers to it. They're not stupid. They can see right through that act. And a good judge, not even a good judge, a mediocre judge, is not going to let that fly in his courthouse, honey, or her courthouse, sweetie. This actually kind of reminds me, you know, with my sibling, I talked very heavily in the animal about how, like, I had a reasonable request for my sibling, right? I was like, hey, can you, not even, I wasn't nice about it because I don't need to kiss their ass. And honestly, they had been intentionally trying to provoke me. So they had followed me downstairs, blaring music behind me. So I turned around and I was like, you need to turn that down. It's really inconsiderate. And they proceeded to freak out for 40 straight minutes and ruin everybody in the house's day because they couldn't handle a reasonable request. And one of the things that they said to me really got me. They were like, on Monday, because it was like a Friday night, they were like, on Monday, I'm going to go and file a PPO against you for harassment, for acting like this, you psycho beep. And I remember thinking about it, because again, I worked in law. I was like, so number one, you don't have any money. So you don't have the money to file a PPO against me. Let's just start there. Two, more importantly, this is not harassment. Me having a reasonable request, saying one sentence to you is not harassment, not even in the slightest. Three, there's no proof that I'm going to harm you, that I have any intent to harm you. Like, that's just, like, the issue with him, with my sibling, is, like, he's deeply mentally ill, so he struggles with, like, understanding how reality works. So in his mind, he does feel very attacked, so he feels that that's grounds enough for, like, a restraining order, even though it's not. And that's kind of what, you know, like, the courts, he would go to the courts and be like, well, I need to get a PPO because she's harassing me. And they would never grant a PPO for the reasons that he's providing, you know? And that's kind of my point here, is, like, you might be worried that they're going to go to the courts and try to portray you as this awful person. But I'm being so honest with you when I say your character is going to shine through. Like, the judgment that they have made about you does not seem to be grounded in reality. And I feel like the courts will see straight through this. I feel like you'll be able to celebrate at the end of the day that you've been able to get away from this situation. I feel like there's a lot of fulfillment here. You just have to plan it out correctly. Yeah, you just have to kind of, and I know it sucks. I know it sucks to bite your tongue in this situation. I know you might feel like you're alone, like you're isolated. Yeah, like you have to do it all alone. Maybe your guards are really up. But I see that your guardian angels are watching over you. They're protecting you at this time. Interesting. Very beautiful energy. I do see you coming out of isolation here with my Hermit in reverse. I do see a victory as well. This came out in the animal card as well. In the animal reading too. This victory. I do see you having a victory against this person because this person is mentally ill. Or they have substance abuse issues or maybe like a sexual addiction. And that's what's really like that. Yeah, this was never meant to be part of your journey, babe. Like, this was never meant for you. This relationship had to crumble. It had to end because this person has issues that you were never meant to, you were never meant to heal them, is kind of my point here. You were meant to walk away from them. I think that's oh my goodness, this actually does really relate back to the sibling thing. I remember talking to my dad about my sibling, and my dad was like, I don't know what to do with him. Like, he's unstable, you know, about my brother. My dad was like, he's unstable, so I need you to, like, just tolerate it, you know, and like, get out as quickly as you can, because I don't know what else to do. And I remember I talked to my therapist about it. My therapist sent me a bunch of resources, and I went to my dad, and I was like, listen, I think the kindest thing we could do for him at this point, because he can't live with other people, like, he cannot live in civilized society. He needs to be medicated, he needs to get sober, and he needs to be held accountable for how he behaves, for his emotional outbursts. So I think I know that this sounds cruel, but the kindest thing we could do is send him to a homeless shelter. Because in that situation, he'll have a 3-strike rule, where if he has an outburst with another person, or if he has an issue with another person, he's got 3 strikes and then he's out on the streets. So he has to be considerate of how he treats other people, right? And on top of that, they'll provide mental health resources. They'll give him a therapist. They'll help him get medications. They'll help him keep a job. They'll force him to get sober. Like, these are all things that he desperately needs. Like, this is someone who does not function well without mass amounts of enablement and support of other people. It is quite parasitic, actually, to exist in proximity to him because of the way that he mooches and he drains the reserves. That's actually exactly what the Venom said. Oh my goodness, let me pull that out. Yeah, the Venom says, oh my goodness, a relationship that is slowly draining your reserves. And that's exactly what I was telling my dad, is like, I love my brother. I forgive him for how he behaves, but he drains every single person around him for every single thing that they have, because he's not a functioning person. And then when that person is completely exhausted and they lash out, right? When you beat a dog so hard that it bites, his only response is to have that dog euthanized. So I feel like the type of person that you're tolerating, that you're dealing with here, that you're trying to escape from, literally would beat a dog until they bite, and then they'd have that dog put down. And I see you getting away from them. I do see it as a victory, even though I feel like you might consider what you're doing, you or other people might consider you or even judge you for being like cruel in the situation, but I don't think it's a cruelty. I think you are doing the kindest thing that you could possibly do for this person, and that is walk away and leave them alone. Like, honestly, getting away from this person, that's the kindest thing you could do for them, because then they can't drain you anymore. They can't ruin this relationship any more than they already have. Let's go ahead and get into some charms. Alrighty, I'm going to go ahead and kick off this charm reading with a channeled song for this collective. We have Landslide, Oh Wonder, which is about support and hope. Beautiful. I'll be there for you. In the rain, give you sunshine, and you'll find another life to live. I feel like that's exactly where you're at right now. I feel like you're walking away from a situation that has been exhausting for you for quite some time now. Yeah, and actually this is so crazy. So these two we're at the top of the deck. We have Evil Woman by Electric Light Orchestra. So this might be you might be worried that people will look at you as if you're evil, or this might be what they make you feel like. You made a fool out of me. You took my body and played to win. A fool and his money soon go separate ways. So yeah, I do see a victory for you if you take this person to child support court, or if you take them maybe for like alimony, or like if you had a prenup and like, let's say cheating was like a stipulation, like if they cheat, you get 50% of what they had. I feel like you've got enough evidence in order to get that. So I do see a big win on the horizon for you here in walking away from this person. Side note, there's a lot of hair popping up on my reading. That wasn't like that like for my previous two reads. So maybe this person like, I don't want to say this. Maybe they would like have your hair, or they might use that for something. Anyways, we also have Labor, which is by Paris Paloma. It's about being overworked and underappreciated. It says, this was an escape plan. That's what I kept saying, is this feels like it's an escape plan. If our love died, would that be the worst? You make me do too much labor. That's a fantastic song, by the way. It really embodies feminine rage. Oh my gosh, I cut the deck. We have Black Sheep by Metric, which is Misunderstood and Outcast. That was the channeled song for the animal reading. So if you are dealing with this with family and not with a love partner, I would recommend watching the animal reading instead. So let's go ahead and get some more messages for you. Let's get some zodiac signs. I think we had, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius in the beginning of the reading with the moth. And then the sea serpent is a water sign energy, so it's going to be Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Let's go ahead and get some more zodiac signs here. Ooh, moon in Capricorn. Yeah, you might need to focus more on finances right now than your emotions. Like you might want to like spit fire at this person, or like call them out or expose them. But I think you need to it's kind of reminding me, my grandma Susie, amazing woman, by the way, absolutely amazing woman. She had been like married multiple times, and with her, I think her fourth husband, it might have been her third husband, I could be a total asshole with that. her third or fourth husband, my grandfather, who's amazing. I love him to death. My grandpa Mike. They had told me a story when I was young about how my grandpa Mike stumbled upon some like money that she had hiding. And when he confronted her about it, she was like, oh, that's in case like I ever need to like run away from you. And he got furious about it because my grandpa Mike is like a really, really good guy. But it took him some time to realize like, oh, my grandmother had actually been in like physically abusive relationships previous to him. So it wasn't about, you know, like telling him he was abusive. It was just protecting herself in the event that she ever had to go through that again. You know, so while he was furious at first, there was this underlying understanding of like, okay, well, she's doing this to protect herself. So that might be where you're at right now, where it's like focusing on maybe stockpiling your finances to get away from this situation, to promote your own security and safety. Yeah, I feel like you'll be leaving by a full moon, or maybe this will come to a head by a full moon. Look at the color match on that, by the way. The full moon says, take time to relax, recharge, and replenish your inner strength. Beautiful. I also had my owl come out. That came up in the animal as well. This came up as the initial one in the guidebook, actually. A crisis will allow you to look into yourself and make an important revelation. Yeah. We have Cancer energy on the back here. Interesting, interesting. What else do I want to get here? All right. I'm going to grab you an affirmation, baby, because I feel like you need it. Just one. Today I will see the possibilities. Today anything is possible. My heart is open to any and all possibilities. Yeah, I think that you need to recognize that, like, you can, yes, it will be hard to do it alone, but you can do it alone. You got this, babes. You do. Not only that, I feel like the universe is on your side with this as well. Like, they are looking out for you and protecting you. On the back I have, today I am in charge. Today I am in control of how I feel. Nobody can make me feel any other way than happy. I feel like your happiness would make this person absolutely miserable. Like, I feel like you getting away from this person and being happy would destroy this person's, like, I think it would really humble them, to be honest. Interesting. Let's grab a crystal here. Ooh, chrysoprase. This stone can induce a deep meditation. I don't know why that's not. Interesting. Known to be very helpful by opening your mind to acceptance of others and yourself. This calming stone can prevent you from speaking out in anger, or by making the mind think about consequences before you lash out. Yeah, there's a lot about, like, I get that you want to tell them off. I really do. I can see that. But I don't see that being the most beneficial thing for your situation at this time. Yeah. This person feels very, very negative. Maybe they've been, like, chipping away at your self-esteem. It kind of gives me the sense of, and I actually just talked about this with someone recently. I knew this guy who was really, like, fat phobic, and I was, like, trying to help him deconstruct that concept of, like, why he disliked larger people so much, like plus size people so much, because I didn't understand. I was trying to understand, like, where are you coming from, and trying to help him, like, deconstruct this idea, and it really wasn't getting through to him. And I remember saying to him, I was like, so what happens when your wife has a child and they like get postpartum depression and they like gain weight? And his only response is, well, my wife will understand that lifting is important. And I was like, okay, so there's just no empathy at all. There's no empathy. Like, there's no understanding, there's no empathy, there's no love, there's no care. It's like 100% image, ego, that's all it is. Okay, then there's like nothing left to talk about then. Like, because you are too shallow to understand what love actually means then. And also, please don't ever have a child or marry someone, because dear God, is that horrifying. A horrifying concept. And the reason that I'm bringing this up is because on the back of the deck I have hematite. Meditating with this crystal is the best way to receive its power, and wearing it as jewelry is another way to connect to it. This stone helps with stabilizing and grounding you during difficult times. It also protects you from absorbing another person's negativity. Yeah, and it's the other person's negativity that I'm really, really picking up on here. where I feel like this person, like, they would 100% chip away at your self-esteem. This is the type of person who would absolutely, like, if you were postpartum depression and you gained some weight, yeah, they would hold it against you hardcore. They would judge you for it. And I feel like that's evil. I feel like that lacks all empathy. I feel like that lacks love. I feel like this person, I feel like mostly this person came into your life to teach you what love is not. Because there's no way there's any love for someone like that. No empathy. That's crazy. I can't. I personally cannot understand that. I don't know. If my wife's entire body changed to birth my child, yeah, I'd cut them some slack. Oh my goodness. Let's grab a quick angel number before I get too angry. Oh, we have 553. Very interesting. Very interesting. Go ahead and go into your browser, type in 553 angel number meaning. That'll be your message from Spirit today. And if you can, comment that down below because I love to see all the messages about it. We all get different ones, and I think they're super interesting. So then we also have Saturn and Aries coming out. Saturn is all about responsibility. It's about accountability. It's about restrictions and rules as well. Aries being a very fiery energy, very young as well. I find that Aries is a very immature and impulsive energy, just because it's the first of the zodiac. It is very it's like a newborn. I always consider Aries to have like that newborn, like fresh eyes perspective. Ooh, my throat's going crazy again. Yeah, Aries might be important here. Yeah, this person might really like suck at taking any accountability or responsibility. I feel like they make it, they will twist it in so many ways to make it your fault. But what I found interesting about the angel number is that in the animal, the angel number was 224, and now we have 553. Interesting. It's just the parallels. All right, let's go ahead and get some charms from my charm jar. If you're noise sensitive, go ahead and turn down the volume now. I'm gonna go ahead and grab this. Okay, yeah, alrighty. Oh, and I actually had a couple fall out. I just spit them out right at the end. Oof. Okay, let's go ahead and separate all these. Interesting. I am picking up on a third party here. Look at that. I don't like that at all. But we got new growth, so that's good. Oh, I just started... Oh, man. Oh, multiple things. Oh, my goodness. Sorry, my throat went out, and then I started getting really, really hot out of absolutely nowhere. Oh, my goodness. I feel like this person makes you, like in a snap second, they make you angry. Maybe because they take your voice away. Maybe that angers you. That would piss me off, to be honest. Alrighty. So let's go ahead and start with these charms. Let me zoom in a bit here. I'm trying to move all this to the side. Okay, so I do have my beautiful bridge here. I feel like you're bridging the gap with some information. I feel like you're making connections in your mind about what's going on and what you need to do next. I feel like you're planning as well. I feel like you're planning to burn this bridge too. Maybe you're trying to figure out what would give you the most closure in this situation as you move towards a new beginning. Some like fresh earth. Yeah, this like new chapter of yours. I see you sprouting in a very beautiful direction. I have my conch here. Maybe you live near the ocean or you're connected to Yamaya, the water goddess. I know Jalissa's messages is fantastic for messages from Yamaya. She's very well connected, so I would recommend that you check her out. Yeah, you could also be getting messages through your dreams, or maybe if you were to visit the water, you get some messages there. Interesting. I am picking up on a third party here because look at this. This ring, it has like that reflection, that mirror, that like commitment to each other, right? And there's this third party that's coming in. It doesn't fit quite right. It almost kind of like dominates the one, you know? Yeah, it almost like overtakes it. Maybe this person is like trying to find your replacement before, before like they leave you in like the dust. I don't know what that means. I'm sorry. Just take what resonates, leave what doesn't. I've got my little bag here. Yeah, I feel like you're packing your bags. You're moving on. I feel like you're getting out of this situation. It is kind of giving me like an I'm gonna leave you before you can leave me vibe, but I feel like this is like to benefit you, like for your own safety, so I don't see it being like a bad thing. I have my King of Cups in reverse. Yeah, this person may have lied to you. Like originally they came off as like very charming, very suave, very loving and caring, but as things continued, as things progressed, there was like no empathy, there's no love, there's no nurturing. It's just like, it very much reminds me of like that judgmental guy that I was talking about, who like can't, who would expect his freshly postpartum wife to immediately jump back in the gym and just start lifting so he can be attracted to her. Like, how selfish. This person seems very selfish. That's what it is. We have my Page of Pentacles in reverse. Yeah, I do see you kind of like maybe even hiding money from this person, as you should. Yeah, I do see you putting aside money, maybe getting back to work, or maybe you have like a small business that you make money off of and you're putting that to the side or hiding it. We have do what makes you happy being highlighted here. I do see you being single soon. I see you walking away from this situation. Yeah, getting out of here. Getting out of there. I don't know why I said here. Interesting. Maybe you want to get out of like a house with this person, or maybe a marriage. Maybe you're filing for divorce. We have Atheist coming up. I also have Scorpio coming out. Interesting. You or them might be a Scorpio. I have T, so Tim, Todd, Teresa, Terry, Tom, Thomas, Tiffany, Taylor, Tyler, Trey, Troy, Tessa, Tess, Tara. All right, that's all I got. We got you. Can I think of any you names? I actually can't. Oh, goodness. Ursula? Because I'm seeing Ursula from The Little Mermaid. Ursula? That's all I can come up with. That's like a third-party situation with The Little Mermaid. Maybe you like The Little Mermaid, or someone does here. There's that water connection again with Yamaya. Interesting. We have K, so Caitlin, Katie, Catherine, Kathy, Katarina, Carl, Kane, Kyle, Kaizen, Kaden, Chris, Christina, Kristen, Kirsten. I have G, that's so funny, Gus, Greg, Gregory, Gary. Is that all I got? Gwen? Yeah, that's all I got. I have H, Harry, Henriette, Henrietta, Harris, Harold, Hayes, Haley. I think that's all I got. Yeah. Alrighty, so that's what I'm seeing for you today, guys. Thank you so much for joining me for the Venom epistemology. Again, let me know down in the comments 553 what that angel number means, and let me know how this resonated for you. I will catch you guys again in the next one. Bye!